the world battles to contain coronavirus, India has become a center for vaccine making and is leading from the front. It has tied up with global vaccine makers to manufacture various vaccines in India. On another front, tech giants like Infosys, Wipro and TCS are handling the projects for numerous companies abroad. Bangalore has become the IT hub. Global giants like Walmart and IKEA have set up shop. Apple and Samsung phones are manufactured here. Tesla is opening up a plant to boost India's EV ambitions, and shopping on Amazon and binge watching on Netflix have become a day-to-day affair. Today, India is a global arena for foreign investments, but this wasn't always the case. It all started in 1991 when then government led by P.V. Narasimha Rao and his finance minister Manmohan Singh ushered in major changes to the economy by means of the 1991 economic reforms. Faced with the balance of payments crisis, India ushered in economic reforms that spurred the economy forward, and India not just prevailed but flourished. But what were the major changes brought in by the budget of 1991? Prior to 1991, in India, imports were regulated by means of a positive list of freely importable items. From 1992, imports were regulated by a limited negative list. For instance, the trade policy of 1st April 1992 freed imports of almost all intermediate and capital goods. Only 71 items remained restricted. Apart from this, the government raised FDI in high technology and investment priority industries. Automatic permission was increased to 51%, which later got revised to 74% and later 100% in many industries. To improve the balance of payments, the rupee was devalued. Industrial licensing was abolished for all projects except in 18 industries. With this, 80% of the industry was taken out of the licensing framework. The Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Act was repealed to eliminate the need for prior approval by large companies for capacity expansion or diversification. Areas reserved for the public sector were narrowed down and greater participation by private sector was permitted in core and basic industries. It also encouraged disinvestment of government holdings of public sector enterprises, and public sector units were provided greater autonomy. So how did day-to-day life change? Here's a look. Before 1991, you had Ambassador, Premier Padmini, and post-91, you saw a Ford enter India in 95, Toyota in 97, and Skoda in 2001. Earlier, you had brands like Parle with Gold Spot and Citra, and then came along Coca-Cola in 1993. Before 1991, you had Irani cafes and Udupi restaurants, and post-91, you had the likes of McDonald's and KFC enter the picture. Before 1991, BPL and Onida were key electronic brands. Post-91, you had Sony enter India in 94 and Samsung in 95. BSNL and MTNL were the key players before 1991, whereas Nokia entered the Indian market in 1995. AIR was the sole radio broadcast company before 1991, and then you had Times FM launch in 1993. Before 91, Doordarshan was the only channel viewed by the audiences in India. After 91, you had Zee, Star Plus, Sony Entertainment and Network 18. Before 91, the aviation space had only two players, Air India and Indian Airlines. Post 1991, you saw the entry of East West Airlines in 92, Jet Airways in 93, SpiceJet in 2004, Indigo in 2005, and Go Air also in 2005. SBI, Central Bank of India, and UBI were the key players in the banking sector. Post 1991, you had Axis Bank, IndusInd Bank, ICICI Bank and HDFC. At a time when many expected India to shut its doors to conserve its reserves, it bravely did the opposite. India might have been staring at the end of the proverbial barren then, but the iconic reforms have put the gun in India's hands now. The 1991 reforms turned out to be the turnaround script that changed the grammar of the country forever.